Hi, and welcome to episode 12 of the Noble Character Crafts podcast. My name is Amy, and you can find me online on Instagram and Etsy at Noble Character Crafts. You can find me on Ravelry at Noble Character, and I also have a group for this podcast, which is Noble Character Crafts Podcast. You can certainly join us over there. That is where all of the show notes are listed for both this episode and previous episodes. There is an Ask Me Anything thread, there is a Introduce Yourself thread, and then there is a chatter thread and a finished object thread for the current knit along that is going on right now. Today is Friday, January 19th, 2018, and this is a podcast all about my life as a knitter, a crocheter, and a hand dyer of yarn. I'm coming to you from eastern Nebraska, where I live on a farm with my husband and our 5 children. A huge welcome to any new and returning viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I truly appreciate it. So the current knit along that we have going on is being co-hosted with Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast, and that is a cable cal. It is running until February 1st, and it is for any projects that you have that include cables. So please join both Kay's Ravelry group as well as mine and enter your finished objects in that thread. I did receive another, a couple of giveaway prizes for that cable cal that I want to share with you. Amanda of Little Bitty Delights sent me these adorable Progress Keepers. Aren't they so cute? A little travel coffee mug and a donut with sprinkles. Oh, they're so adorable. I am just in awe of this type of tiny little work. It's incredible. So again, Amanda of Little Bitty Delights, she has an Etsy shop, and go check out her shop. She does such incredible work. Sorry for the glare, but I want to leave them in this cute package. And she sent me a gift as well in this cute little box. Thank you so much, Amanda. It was so sweet of you to send me some extras. These I can take out of their little bag. So she sent me these, a little cup. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. A little cup of like peppermint mocha or something like that. It's got Cool Whip on top with sprinkles and a tiny little chocolate piece there. See the little tiny chocolate piece kind of, and of course the peppermint in this adorable little ceramic mug. Oh my goodness, I love that one so much. And then this one is a piece of pumpkin pie with Cool Whip, and I love it so much. That is so adorable. Thank you so much, Amanda. I love them so much. I'm going to put them on my projects right away. And then also Amy of Amy's Little Kingdom podcast contacted me and said that she would be willing to donate a copy of her Lily cardigan that I am working on. And she is donating that for a price for the cable cal as well. Thank you so much, Amy. That pattern is so gorgeous, and I know anybody is going to love to receive that. So thank you so much. If there are any other makers out there that would like to donate a prize for that cable cal, I am still accepting prizes for a few more weeks. And you can get in contact with me through Instagram, Ravelry, or you can also contact me through my email, which is noblecharactercrafts@yahoo.com. Today I am wearing my Elena Half-Hap shawl, which is a design by Lavish Designs, and it was made using my own hand-dyed yarn except for the border, but the majority of the shawl is made in my own hand-dyed yarn on my Lenora base, which is my 100% superwash merino in a worsted weight, and then the border is made in colorway by Allison Barnes collection. I think it was called Prairie something. Well, you can check my Ravelry page for this project if you want to know any more details of my colorways or Allison's colorways. And this is my only worsted weight shawl, which I really love worsted weight shawls, especially for the winter. You know, the majority of my shawls are made using fingering weight. And of course, that's what's most popular. But in the winter, they're not very warm, you know, to go outside in anyway. So I really like this worsted weight one for winter. You know what, actually I'll take this off to show you because I need to take it off anyway for the next, my first work in progress. But anyway, here you can see it better in its entirety. I love that border, it's so pretty. So I'm gonna leave that off for a second while I show you my first work in progress. I don't have any finished objects this week, but that's probably because I have too many whips still, and you know, I don't make a ton of progress on any of them because there's too many, but that's okay. I'm enjoying all of them so much. So my first project is in my Creative Frenzies project bag. And I told you I was going to work on this more this week, and I have. This is my Lily cardigan. Again, it's by Amy Self-Lindland, and she does have a podcast. You should definitely check out her podcast if you haven't yet, which is Amy's Little Kingdom. She lives in Norway and just does beautiful, beautiful work and makes beautiful patterns. So I have been working on my Lily cardigan, and I have made a lot of progress. So there you can see the progress keeper from where I was last time I podcasted. And I have worked quite a bit on this. Isn't that cabling amazing? I just love it so much. And I have split for the sleeves. And so obviously this is worked top down. This is the back of the cardigan. So there's the front, and there's cables that go down the front as well on either side. And this is made using fingering weight yarn. I am using Knit Picks palette in the Aurora Heather colorway, which I love so much. It's so beautiful. And this is on size 6 needles, which is 4mm. And I'm gonna try it on for you because since it's top down, that's the wonderful thing about top down cardigans is you can try them on. There, so you can see it's coming along really well and the fit is beautiful. I love it so much. I want to show you the back. These are just on waist yarn here, so I have really long tails on my waist yarn. But I want to see if you can see the back of this on here. I love it so much. I'm so excited about it. And this has definitely been the project that I've worked on the most this week. And I love everything about it. I love the cabling. I love the yarn that I'm using. I love how it's working up. I love seeing it take its shape. It's so fun. Okay, there, I'm all situated now. Anyway, so this has just been such a delight to work on, and I am so excited to continue to see it grow. Amy is hosting a knit along for this pattern, which is the Lily cardigan Cal. So if you would like to cast it on, I would highly encourage you to join in on the Cal because, again, this is, if I had to pick, this is definitely my favorite project right now. All right. It's getting a little bit too big for this project bag. Might have to go up to a bigger one. Okay, my next work in progress is in one of my project bags. This is what I send any yarn orders out in a project bag in various sizes depending on how many skeins you order. And this is where I am keeping my Time Trades shawl, which is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter of Boylan Knitworks. And I am making this for a friend of mine. And I have made a good chunk of progress. So there's the stitch marker from last time I podcasted, and I've been able to work into the next section here where I'm working with both the Abundance colorway, which is the darker speckled yarn, and then also the Sweetness colorway. And this is another project that I'm just absolutely loving so much. So last time I mentioned that I thought I was halfway through, but I'm totally wrong. I am not halfway through, thankfully, because otherwise it would have been way too short. I think this section where you fade from the black to the really light pink is like about a third of the total length of the shawl. So I think I'm about a third of the way through. I don't really know. I hate looking ahead in a pattern. I'm not very good at that. I like to just do the next step and keep going. But I just glanced ahead and there's quite a bit more rows. So I think it's about a third of the total length. Anyway, I am again using my own hand-dyed yarn on this shawl in my Radiant base, which is a 70% superwash merino, 30% silk blend, and it is a fingering weight. And the different colors I'm using are, the black is called Night, then the deep plum is Honor, the next color is Steadfast, then this rose colored pink is called Satisfied, the light pink is Tranquil, and again the speckled is called Abundance, and Sweetness. So anyway, I just absolutely love this lace work. It is so enjoyable to do. This is on size 6 needles as well, 4mm. And yeah, I'm just enjoying this so much. I'm really not rushing to get it done by any certain date. It's just whenever. My friend, I don't think, is expecting this at all. She just mentioned to me that she really liked the feel of my starting point wrap that I was wearing one day to church, and she loved it. And she said, I'll pay you to make a shawl for me. And I said, no, you won't, but I will make you one. So we haven't said anything more about it since then. And so I'm going to surprise her with this whenever I get it done. There's no pressure. So that's really nice. Okay. My next work in progress is in an Allison Barnes collection project bag. And I actually won both this bag and this skein of yarn in a giveaway on Instagram. So I am working on the Doodler by Stephen West, which I am doing along with Christy Glass Knits. She is hosting a Doodler Cal. And I am using, again, my own hand-dyed yarn on my Radiant base. It's just my favorite base for shawls. It's a single ply and it just is so beautiful in shawls. I am using my Embrace colorway here, and this is called Enriched. And then I will also eventually work into the Honor colorway for the border. So I am working on this only on Sundays, which is what Christy Glass is doing as well. She's doing this knit along with her daughter, and they only work on it on Sundays. So I am trying to do that as well and have this be the only project that I work on Sundays. So last time I podcasted, I was right there with that Progress Keeper. This is also from Little Bitty Delights. That's marking where I was last time. So I had already done 3 wedges, and now I think I'm up to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'm on the 10th, but I've just started it. So anyway, I really am enjoying this one as well. Like I said, I'm really happy with all of my works in progress right now. They're just all so enjoyable. And doesn't it look like a butterfly wing? It's so pretty. I love the shape of it. So I've never done a Stephen West pattern before. I've always kind of resisted it because they're so popular, and I hate doing things that are really popular. I like to kind of do my own thing a lot of times, but there's a reason why they're so popular, because they're really enjoyable, I think. So this is really enjoyable. I'm loving it so much. It looks like a sun ray, doesn't it? Like the sun shining out. So pretty. So anyway, I'm really happy with this, and I'm happy with how much work I was able to get done on it on Sunday. I was happy with that progress. And I'm going to put it away until Sunday comes again. This is on size 4 needles, which are 3.5mm. And all of my needles are Chowgu. That's all of the ones I'm using are Chowgu needles. Okay, my next whip is also in my Creative Frenzies project bag. And I am working on the second sock for my prong socks. So here's the first one I showed you last week. This is a pattern by Nicole Bracey of Woolfield. Here's the cabling. And she has already published this pattern, so you can definitely check it out on Ravelry. It's called Prongs Socks. And I have worked on the second one a little bit, not a ton, but there's the stitch marker for where I was last week. Guess I could hold it right side up. And so I've worked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the cable pattern. I am just trying to do 1 round of the cabling per day, pretty much. I guess I've only done that for 5 days, but I did have to finish the ribbing from last time too. So I cast on 66 stitches, and then the pattern has you decrease down to 64 stitches for the leg. And the ribbing is 2x1 ribbing, and I made 20 rows of the ribbing before I started the leg. My laddering is so much better. Look it. So if you haven't watched before, I've been having terrible trouble getting the laddering on my socks to go away. I've had bad problems with that, and look, it's so much better. So I think, well, this side isn't perfect, but oh, I know. I showed you on my other sock that this first stitch right here is a little loose, but look, it's getting better. I am getting better. I am making progress. So the thing that I have changed here is I use Norwegian purling methods a lot of times, especially when I'm doing ribbing. I use Norwegian purling, but on this side I have started just doing regular purling, and that way I can make it a little bit tighter. When I Norwegian purl, my stitches are a little bit looser, and so I have started doing regular purling here, and I think that's really helped this stitch to tighten up right there. So see, that's a little bit looser up here, and now it's gotten tighter. Practice makes progress. It's good. So I'm really happy with these, and I am using my own hand-dyed yarn on my Pitter Patter base, which is a 75-25 blend, and this is on my Tranquil colorway. And in case you're wondering why I have a DPN there, I use DPNs to do my cabling. So that's what I use for my cable needle. That's what works best for me. This is a Knitter's Pride Carbons. These are on size 1.5 needles, which are 2.5 millimeter. My next work in progress is in my Tuft Woolens project bag. And I am working on my Scrappy socks. So I haven't made a ton of progress on these either. These are really what I've just been working on when I do schoolwork with my kids. I homeschool my children, and this is what I pull out when, you know, they're working on their worksheets or whatever and are being independent, which isn't a whole lot of time. I've also started homeschooling my 5-year-old, and so I'm being pulled in at least 4 directions at all times, it seems. My youngest is not yet schooled. He's only 4, but he still wants to join in with us a lot of times. So I'm busy during schoolwork a lot more than I was before. So anyway, I don't get a ton of time to work on these. But anyway, I was right here where this little owl progress keeper was. He always wants to turn around. I don't know why that is. Anyway, that shows you where I was last time I was on this. This is my Love colorway right here. And also on this Vineyard colorway on this sock. So I've just been able to work, well, not quite 2 more stripes. So I started with 68 stitches. I did a 1x1 twisted ribbing for the cuff for 20 rows, and then just doing 10 rows of each color. And I'm planning to do black for both the heel and the toe as well, so that they're a little bit similar, even though the colorways are completely mismatched along the leg and the foot. They will be. But anyway, I'm really liking how these are turning out. So I added, since last time I've added the green stripe and the multicolored stripe here are both, these were the first yarns that I used for my first socks that I ever made. And then now I'm working with my Dignity colorway and my Gracious colorway. So anyway, I think I'm going to do at least 8 stripes for the leg before I start the heel. And I'd like to try a German short row heel for these. I've never done a German short row heel, and I'd like to give that a try to see how I like that. So that's my plan. how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm on my 7th stripe. I might do one more stripe or maybe 2 more stripes before I do the heel. I really like a long leg, so. Oh, and I keep forgetting to tell you that I'm unraveling my texture socks that I showed you quite a while back. I was working on a new pair of socks that I was kind of making up, well, using stitches from other patterns that I have used. Anyway, I'm frogging them because they were way too tight. So in case you're wondering about that project, it is frogged, or getting frogged as I make those. I forgot to say that these Scrappy socks are for the Woolberry Scrap-Along that Bethany of the Woolberry Fiber Company is hosting. Okay, my next work in progress is a new cast-on, and it is also in a My Creative Frenzies project bag. And I am making a pair of slippers for myself. I showed you my slippers, or the slippers that I made for my husband last time. And do you remember how I said that I told him that I wanted to wash them one more time so that they would shrink up a little bit more? And he said no, he liked them. Guess what? He doesn't like them. He says they're too big. And I told him that I thought they were too big too. And I've already put the leather soles on, so now I need to cut the leather soles off, wash them again, and then stitch the leather soles back on, which isn't very much fun. But I'll do it because I love him so much. Anyway, I'm making a pair of these slippers for myself. This is a pattern by Monique Ray, and they are called Men's Loafer Slippers. And I am using the men's size even for myself because the smallest size in the pattern is an 8-9 in men's, and I wear a size 8 in men's. I mean, not that I wear men's shoes, but it's the same as my shoe size. I wear a size 10 in women's. So, yeah, the smallest size is an 8-9, and that's what I'm making for myself. And I have decided to use 2 different colors of yarn because you hold 2 strands of worsted weight together for this project, and I thought it'd be fun to mix a couple of colors. I am using Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in the Current colorway and the Bouquet Heather colorway. And if you've been watching for a while, you may recognize those colors together. I have started a pair of worsted weight socks using these 2 colors because I love them together so much, but they are on hold because I haven't quite decided what I want to do with them. Because the other pair of worsted weight socks that I made got a hole in them. So anyway, that's why I'm making these slippers, to hopefully prevent getting holes in my socks. Anyway, so here's the sole of the foot. I'm done with that, and now I'm ready to pick up stitches along the sides and start working around the edge. These are made using large needles, size 11, US 11 8mm needles. And so they are felted. Once I get done, I will wash them in hot water to shrink them. And again, I do have leather soles to put on mine as well. So I need to get working on these because I really need them to keep my feet warm. But I just have so many other things I want to work on. It's so hard to put enough work into every project. Okay, my last whip that I have made some progress on is my Hexie Scrappy blanket. I love it so much. It's so fun. Oh, I forgot my hook. Hang on. So I am using a size C crochet hook, which is 2.75mm, and I just have this one clover crochet hook. Most of my other crochet hooks are boy, and I actually won this in the giveaway, the same giveaway that I got the Allison Barnes collection yarn. It was like a huge package that I won from a giveaway, which was so amazing. Anyway, I don't have any other of these clovers, and I usually don't like crochet hooks that have this rubber that goes up so high because my yarn tends to catch on it as I'm stitching, but this one doesn't seem to bother because I think maybe because I'm using such fine yarn. I'm using my fingering weight scraps. So I really have enjoyed that, and it's comfortable on the hand. So anyway, again, I am using fingering weight, and I'm not following a pattern that I got from anywhere. I'm just using my own pattern. I don't know if there is one similar out there or not, but I wrote the details of how I'm making these. Well, I wrote down how I'm making these, but I wasn't very, very specific. If you go to my project page and you don't understand my notes, please feel free to ask me a question because I'd be glad to share what I'm doing exactly. But anyway, last time I showed you I had only this middle hexagon done. And so I've worked all the way around it and made another larger hexie of hexies. So fun. Anyway, this takes such a tiny amount of yarn for each section. I tried to weigh one of these middle circles just to see how many grams it takes, and it wouldn't even register as 1 gram. So less than 1 gram for that center section. And I haven't tried to weigh the other sections, but it's really not much more. I haven't gotten to a point where I've run out of yarn for anything. Like, I mean, I've had the tiniest little scraps that I thought, oh, I don't know if this is going to be enough, and it is. So it's pretty incredible how little it takes. And I am joining as I go, so it really helps with the ends. I don't have hardly any ends at all. In fact, I've even started, when I showed you this last time, I said that I had to weave in my center where I start the hexie, but now I've even started wrapping that around the second. After I work the first round, on the second round, I start working over that tail because I have found that with fingering weight yarn, it is so forgiving. It just is so hard to find it. So even if it trails up another row, you can't see it. I can't see it anyway, so it's really amazing. I have made hexie blankets before, but I think I've always used worsted weight, and that is a little bit easier to see the yarn, but with the fingering weight, it is just so forgiving, I think. So anyway, again, I am joining as I go, which there are many tutorials online that show you how to join as you go. But basically, you just do a slip stitch into every stitch across from where you're working so that you join as you go. And it doesn't make, like you can see on that orange one, how you know, this one overlapped on this side, but then the orange overlapped on this one. So it's not perfectly symmetrical, but as a whole, you can't tell, I don't think, that it's that noticeable. And it's so much more, it's worth it for not having to weave in all those ends or stitch them together by hand. So anyway, really, really happy with this project, and I'll continue to work on it. I've been trying to work 1 hexie a day on average so that it will continue to grow. So that is all of my whips. I am happy with what I've gotten done this week. It's been good progress, I think, on all of my whips, so I'm happy with that. Okay, my shawl kit that I'll show you for this week. Every week I try to show a set of 3 skeins of my hand-dyed yarn that could be used for a shawl. And here is my set for this week. Ooh, I really like them. I'm happy with these so much. So 2 of these are new colorways. So this one is my Dignity colorway, which is similar to my Honor colorway, but it's just a little bit different. You can see that the Honor colorway has a little bit more of a pinkish hue to it, and this is more of a deep purple. So I love both of them, but they are just a little, you know, like 1 shade off of each other pretty much. But my new colorways, this is called Refreshes. Just a solid deep teal, and I love it so much. And my other new colorway is called Glad, and it is wild, isn't it? So it has a light teal base, and then it is speckled and hand painted with so many colors. So we've got, I love this deep red. Here's a good section. I love that deep red right there. Green, fuchsia, blue. Oh, it's so fun. It's got so many different colors in there. So I love them. So I these are in my shop now. Actually, they're not right now as I'm recording this, but they will be by the time I publish this. So you can certainly go check those out if you're interested, and that would just make a gorgeous shawl, I think. Oh, I really like those. I really like those together. Okay, so another pretty boring week here. I'm sorry, but I live a pretty boring life, which is a good thing, I guess. You know, no news is good news, I guess. And anyway, the weather has been cold. It's warmed up a tiny bit, and it's supposed to be really nice this weekend, except on Sunday we may get a snowstorm, which I would love. We're supposed to get maybe up to 10 inches, my husband said. So I would absolutely love that, because we haven't really had a true snow coverage yet, I don't think. And we've only gotten a few inches, and then it's melted, and then we get another little tiny snow shower, and it doesn't accumulate too much. It hasn't yet anyway. Anyway, I would love a deep snow before winter ends. But other than that, you know, we've just been doing our homeschool routine and plugging along, and nothing else really has been going on that's too exciting. I'm sorry, we're boring, but that's okay. So anyway, I really appreciate you checking out my podcast and joining me today. If you have enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you would like. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.